Brad Dwyer. Perhaps we're going to see Joe Cater move from the loose forward position, because this is a big bench from the black and whites.
So Hull KR coming from deep. George King playing the ball. Abdul, good defence in the middle of the field. Clifford, thumping tackle from him.
Well, again, a second effort from Brad Dwyer to put as much pressure as he possibly can on Jordan Abdul. Ball bounced up kindly for Jamie Shaw.
Tell you what, Jamie Shaw, local lad, is getting a big support from black and white supporters behind him, urging him to do well, keen to have him back.
Yeah, he'd really impressed, according to Tony Smith in the pre-season. Was on the out at the end of last year. Rumours that he was going to join Wakefield Trinity, and he's rolled his sleeves up. He's had an outstanding pre-season, according to the head coach. Just picked up a calf injury, I think, which has kept him out and allowed Texoy to get his feet under the table.
Dwyer, here is Brad Fash, flowing blonde locks, familiar sight. And just on that LKR 40 is Ben McNamara. It is who gets the kick away, steep one. But Ryan Hall is comfortable and strong underneath that. And Cheller's tackle on McNamara, nothing wrong with that. And Michael Lewis, little pick up and a dart from him.
This is the patient approach that Willie Peters, the Hull KR coach, spoke about before the match. They just want to build their way in the opening 5 to 10 minutes of the game. Low-risk plays to try and win the territory battle.
Minchella playing the ball, Apple getting the kick away, and Shaw patiently waiting for that ball, and he's well there, because just at the last minute it drifted, didn't it?
Well, Jordan Abdul's just getting warmed up, I think, because these are not the sort of flappers, the spiral bombs. It did move a little bit in the air, but he's had 3 early takes as Jamie Shaw. That'll fill full of confidence. Just a word on Hull KR's spine. They've retained the same spine that rumbled the Rhinos last week. They've got Lachlan Coote, the vastly experienced Lachlan Coote at fullback. That Mikey Lou and Jordan Abdul pairing in the halves, and Matt Parcell, who's having an outstanding season so far from the base of the ruck. That's, you know, really confidence wins, and keeping that spine of the team together, it's a huge plus for them.
Clifford stabs a kick in and bounces towards the sideline. And Sam Woods just had to keep an eye on where his feet were there, the tall winger.
Jake Clifford showing that it's not just about Jordan Abdul's kicks. He can also cause difficulty for their opponents, and he needs to do that today. Reece Kennedy now taking this side to the middle of the field. They're slowly edging the way towards Hull's try line.
Parcell pinching a few yards there. And another grubber kick, and Shaw lets that one run, and Coote is opposite number. In full-back terms, that is. Comes and makes the tackle. Abdul follows up. The whole fan at the end of the field demanding a penalty from Jack Smith. Clifford did a little half break. It was an ankle tap, I think it was, from Batchelor that stopped his progress.
Well, Hull trying to stretch Robin's defence here in red to gain ground and get away from their own try line.
On the last, and Coote collects the ball. Here is Sam Wood now. Tony Smith keeping faith in the former Huddersfield Giants winger comes centre. And from the other flank, Ryan Hall, massive experience from him. Sean Kenny-Dowell bobs the ball over the top. Mikey Lewis.
Yeah, they've really missed Sean Kenny-Dowell. They've been missing for 4 games, suspended for unsportsmanlike conduct. He's back. That offload game's crucial for Hull KR in attack.
Off the ball, Brad! Make it, Josh. Go for.
George King, Matt Parcell, and Cheller on it comes, and good strength going forward from the Robins. Only 10 metres or so away, spooned pass. And then the kick is one for Kane, maybe to challenge. It's batted back, it's still there, and it could be the first of the game for Ryan Hall. Jack Smith will go to the video ref, that's for sure, because there was all sorts happening in the build-up to that. The kick causing problems. Jack Smith reckons it is a try for Ryan Hall, the first of this game. But what does the video ref make of this one?
I want to call it a try. So first we pause the ball on the foot. So everybody to the left of the kicker is onside, so we can go through to the challenge, please. Anything closer on that, please? So the jump. Can we just see that one again, please? So that comes off her Hull KR hand. Can we go back to the first angle that we showed on this one, please? The first angle on the challenge. This is the one, yeah. So that's touch there. We keep playing through. Keep rolling this through, please. That goes backwards in relation to the ground. And through to grounding, please. Thank you. I've seen all I need.
Grant having a good look at that and looking at the grounding, and Ryan Hall celebrating, and Hull KR are going to be celebrating in a moment the first try of this game. Maybe a suspicion of a knock-on between Kane Lynette and Sean Kenny-Dowell, but nothing to deny the try for Hull KR.
Yep, first blood to the Robins. It's a really significant strike. Ryan Hall, so good out of backfield. He's equally as efficient on the end when they get into position. Just a word again on Jordan Abdul. We talked a lot about the booming bombs, that hammer of a left boot. Well, I'll tell you what, it's not too shabby when it comes to those delicate kicks as well. Mikey Lewis picks up that ball, not back from Sean Kenny-Dowell. And here's the kick. It's a beautifully weighted kick straight onto the head of two of the tallest Robins on the field, and sits Ben McNamara underneath the ball. Mikey Lewis knows he just needs to get the ball over the top of Dano McIntosh. And the Robins, in the shape of Ryan Hall, open the scoring.
Lachlan Coots looking to add two to the try scored by Ryan Hall. Coots has kicked 11 so far this season, including 4 from 5 in the victory over Leeds last time out. And you'd fancy him to convert that Ryan Hall try to give Hull KR the start they wanted here. Coote on target. Hall's try, Coote's conversion. The visitors lead by 6 points to 0.
Well, you don't need to be a qualified rugby league coach to watch the game for many years to know that Hull KR's greatest strength is their kicks, and particularly from Jordan Abdul. That's the 8th try they've scored from a kick involving that sort of style of play here so far this season. In contrast for Hull, they've scored just 1 try from a kick. That's the difference between these two sides, and Hull needs to certainly improve the play, their speed and everything here, otherwise things are ticking against them very quickly.
It seems as though Hull KR have dominated the opening 10 minutes or so from what we've seen in terms of territory and just in terms of energy as well.
Well, we saw the assistant coaches of Hull on the field, Gareth Ellis, on pleading with side, demanding a response here now. You know, last week they were 16-0 down inside 20 minutes against Warrington. That can't happen again today.
Here's Kane Lynette now, who's in good form, and they're glad to have Sean Kenny-Dowell back as well after this 4-game suspension. Just holding his chest there after that tackle. Matt Parcell, there's real buzz about Hull KR early on here. They sense an opportunity to really make a mark early on, and Shaw underneath that kick as well, lets it bounce, and that's brave. That is brave. That could have gone anywhere.
He's rolled the proverbial dice there as Jamie Shaw. That was an end-over kick we can see from our vantage position, and again moving in the air. We've not seen the trademark one yet. from Jordan Abdul. I'm sure it'll be on its way soon, but you're right, they've certainly enjoyed the majority of the territory of Hull KR, and they've really struggled, Hull FC, to restrict the metres. They need to inject a bit of energy, as they are doing now in this great work round the ruck by Liam Sutcliffe.
Sutcliffe back in the sides after 2 games out and getting the taste of the first Hull derby. Here is Josh Griffin as Hull FC look to respond. The closest sight of that Hull KR line. Fash now, McNamara, on it goes to Shaw. Shaw puts the brakes on and is driven back where he came from by some vigorous Hull KR defending. Tumavave appeals to the referee. Ben McNamara. Little kick ahead from Clifford. Sam Wood drops the ball and then rescues the situation before Sutcliffe can get there. What was Sam Wood? Well, I think he was trying to get the ball to Lachlan Coote, but that was crazy.
Well, you're right, John. Conceding the try, they decided to roll up the sleeves, run a lot harder than they had done in the opening 10 or 15 minutes. And now getting to the end of the field, putting their opponents under pressure with a difficult, awkward kick. Wood clears over the dead ball line. The goal line dropout now gives Hull a chance to show us what they've got in attack. Short one, wide to right.
And doesn't go the distance.
That's the first misstep from Hull KR. Jordan Elbow's gone for the short kick-off. We've seen this increasingly in the game over the last kind of 6 to 8 months, certainly the start of this season. That's a penalty for Hull FC. You'd imagine they'd run this one.
We've seen it, and we've seen it not come off. It rarely works, does it?
You've got a back defence if it doesn't come off.
And it's put Hull FC on the front foot. And it's Clifford, and Cliff almost finding a way through. The crowd thought he had done. He was just short of the try line. Sutcliffe is mobbed by the Hull KR defenders. Jake Clifford almost found a way through that Rovers defence. And that's lifted the crowd in front of those Hull KR supporters now. The Robins defending as Keita plays the ball, short pass, finds Satai, and Satai, plenty of strength from him, but met in kind by the Hull KR defenders. That's the 5th tackle, and he's dropped the ball, says the referee, who tells Hull not to bother protesting.
Well, there's celebrations all around for the Robins fans and the team here now. That's tremendous goal line defence. First they denied Clifford wide on the right-hand side. Then 4 men involved in stopping Chris Satai close to the try line, and he fumbles the ball as he gets to play it.
I think he's really hard done by there, Chris Satai. I mean, clearly a defender. I think it was George King for the Robins. He's not able to clear the ruck, and he caught an elbow in the act of playing the ball. It's one of those grey areas in the sport that I think we could do an awful lot to tidy up, and I'd feel hard done by if I was Chris Satai.
It's let Hull KR off the hook, that's for sure. Hull have just enjoyed this phase of the game, really. Here is the try scorer so far, Ryan Hall, 3rd of the season that was. As prolific as ever, the 35-year-old who has just signed a 1-year extension in actual fact, and he does look still ready for action, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's full of running. He's been outstanding for Hull FC, for Hull KR rather, the start of this season. The meters he makes out of backfield are extraordinary.
Hull stopping the Robins' progress there. Jordan Abdul. Again, not maybe going as high as you'd expect, and shoulders well together that one, and makes some yards.
Great confidence boost there for Shaw. He's had it tough at the start of this game. Don't forget, won at Wembley twice. He was in the England squad back in 2018. He's a player with potentially perhaps to get Hull back in the match.
So's this guy, Darnell McIntosh, back in the side after 3 games out to bring a bit of finishing power to the side. 2 tries already to his name, McIntosh. Brad Fash then, with a run. Oof. Satai again. Minchella. Abdul and Batchelor stopping his progress eventually. Sutcliffe trying to keep it alive.
I'll tell you what, 2 really good sets in possession, and as you said, Phil, rolled the sleeves up straight through the middle of Hulkea, and then two really poor ends to the sets. One, the adjudged knock-on, and then running short side pass against a set-up defence in the last tackle. You've got to do more to challenge this Robins defence than that.
Here's Batchelor now for Hulkea. Around 5,000 of their supporters have made the journey. Plenty of cross-town traffic today. And they've travelled in confident mood after the season they've had so far. Fifth in the table for the visitors is Mikey Lewis, Kane Lynette. Hull FC fans appealing for a forward pass from Mikey Lewis in that transaction. Here he is again. One of Fash and he collide. Fash determined. John Lane in there as well, and after the ball's gone, Fash and Mikey Lewis just exchanged a word, and they're still chuntering away in back. Meanwhile, Shaw has let that one bounce, and it's been picked up, and Ovacic is going to capitalise for Hulkea. It was bound to happen, or has it happened? Because it's another referral to the video. Jack Smith reckons it is a try. That kicking game was going to cause chaos, and eventually it has. But it's up to Tom Grubb to decide.
Tackle one on for a call of a try, so we pause it on the foot. So we can pause it there, so there's a player offside just to the right, and we've also got players in front or off. So we can run this through, please. Let's track these players. So they're all well out of 10 when the ball is played. Can we just go into the contact, please, there? Just close in on that. Go at full speed if we can, please. So let's play that. He falls off the tackle there, so we can play on through to grounding, please. Thank you. That's all I need.
Well, the kicking game was picked out beforehand. The kicking game of Jordan Abdul was picked out as being a major part of Hulkea's artillery. And it's proved the case, and it was Tom Opichik to get his third try of the season who capitalised on that bit of misjudgment at the back from Jamie Shaw and made the most of it.
Well, all our eyes are carried on towards the kick, but I'm so amazed here at the pickup by Tom Opichik at the end here. It's almost impossible for Shaw to get to. First it's put into Terry Incognito. No man's land, he can't get there, but he gets there and picks it up. And what a try here to a star. They've been rocking for the last 5 minutes. They'd had to defend their own try line, but they showed they were capable of doing that at one end, and clinical at killing their opponents here, scoring from almost nothing. Kick goes missing, and Opichik pounces.
And Coots provided with a formality. Bang in front of the posts to extend Hulkea's lead. 12-0 up.
Yeah, still in the first quarter of the game. Lachlan Coote tags on the extras, but I tell you what, this one, I tracked the ball flight in there, and this was uncatchable. I don't care who you are, and just shows how far it was away. There's a question mark, was he tackled? Though no. Video referee has decided that Jake Clifford had fallen off the tackle there, and Tom Opichik was free to ground the ball just to the right of the sticks.
Opichik's back in the side, having missed victory over Leeds last weekend. His first Hull derby, and celebrating with the try. And Mikey Lewis underneath it. George King running it back. Hull FC, their supporters very subdued and looking for some sort of response from the side. They barely threatened.
Well, this is the danger now. They've got to really load the energy that they put into the defensive sets to stop Hulkea getting into a position where Jordan Abdul's kicking game is effective. They've really got to put everything now into restricting these meetings. And once again, you can see, approaching the end of the tackle count, tackle for halfway line. That's still not going to be enough for Hull FC.
Here is Jordan Abdul. Here is the reliable George King, the Irish international who played in all 3 World Cups, World Cup games for his country last year. King, Abdul, another teasing kick, and it's claimed by Hulkea. A little kick over the top, and back goes Liam Sutcliffe to gather the ball as Hulkea were pouncing more pieces of debris that should be lying around the back. Debris from the Hull FC defence.
This is where the black and whites need to dig deep here. There's no point later in the game trying your hardest. It's now behind on the scoreboard, under pressure and near their own trial. They need every hand on deck here now. They're going to make 2 substitutes on the sideline, 2 big men, fresh men, to help Dwyer and the rest of the team gain ground. It's the last tackle.
And they're still deep within their own half as Clifford gets the kick away and finds a bit of land between Coote and his wing Ryan Hall. It's Coote who collects it, and Ryan Hall braces for the tackle. And then Mikey Lewis, dance and run from him. Real effervescent character. Is Kane Lynett, long-striding Scottish international. Sean Kenny Dowd is Lewis once more.
Yes, so I saw Sue on the field. He was great last week against Leeds. Crowd lifted for him as well then.
Parcell, Elliot Minchella. Oh, the ball comes back to Minchella, and it was forward. And a sigh of relief, a roar from one end of the ground, and from the other end of the ground, a massive sigh of relief as Jack Smith signalled forward pass.
Well, you take your shots in the arm where you can if you're Hull FC at this time, because the ball didn't need to be forward. I think Minchella's still gone through the whole luckily just not able to get backward direction on that pass. But it's just too easy for the Robins. They generate so much momentum so easily around the ruck. Hull FC need to get a grip of this quickly. Slow things down, wrap the ball up, front load the energy, as we've been saying, and that translates as line speed and first contact at the other end of the field.
So let off for Hull FC, the strains of Old Faithful ringing out, but not with great conviction at the moment, a bit like the Hull FC side. And they're buoyant up the other end of the ground. Here's Carlos Tunavave. And penalty goes in favour of Hull FC. They'll welcome that.
Yeah, high tackle from the referee. Says Matt Parcell's gone too high. It's up from the shoulder onto his head. You're desperate now if you're a Hull FC fan here to see what your side have got in attack. They've now brought 3 fresh bodies onto the field in the last few minutes. Scott Taylor's one of them. He takes his first run forward.
And gets them to that 20 in Robins territory. Here's Lingy Sow now, another of the changes, just back from a 1-game ban. Dwyer. Here's Clifford, and it goes to Ben McNamara. Quick hands, rapid defence, and a knock-on, a fumble by Jordan Lane in that tackle, and the Robins celebrate.
That's great first contact, low from Mikey Lewis and then over the top from Lynett. And the ball dislodged in the tackle. So says Jack Smith, the referee. And a let-off there of sorts for Hull KR, because they've been excellent from the start of this game, but they really opened the door. Last passage of play, forward pass from Luckley, then a penalty for a high tackle, then a set restart. The door was open for Hull FC, they just couldn't capitalise.
Head and feed goes to the Robins then. And now Hull will try and restrict their progress, but it's difficult to do when Ryan Hall's in this sort of mood. Makes good yards for his side there and gets a quick play the ball. Mikey Lewis just swats Ben McNamara's side. McNamara says, hang on, I'm not finished, and comes back. Lane in there to support. Mikey Lewis is buzzing, fizzing.
That's good, isn't it, for the local game? 2 young local lads competing in a derby match like this. I'm sure that'll inspire many more youngsters around this city to get involved and play, and one day maybe even to play in this derby game.
So Aso Sue it is. Just on the halfway line, back it comes to Minchella. Minchella brought down, 5th tackle. And Minchella didn't appreciate that challenge. And again the kick comes, this time Mikey Lewis holding this one. It's allowed to bounce. It's allowed to be picked up by Ryan Hall. It's still on the last Coote. It's Hall. Hall wondering where he should go. Oh, here's Jordan Abdul. And he thumps the ball across field into the hands of Sutcliffe. And somehow Hull get their hands on the ball eventually.
That's a good return from Sutcliffe as well. And that should be a penalty. Oh, 6 again, yeah. Referees wipe the tackle count.
There's no penalty though, is there? 6 again. It's the start of the tackle count. They've slowed him down and controlled it. A kick to touch for 30 or 40 metres would have helped.
It is a thorny issue. That particular one. There's 6 to go. And here's Brad Dwyer and Dwyer gets the pass away to Carlos Tuimavave. So Asso 2 comes and collars him. Here's Scott Taylor now. Dwyer. Lingy Sao. Strength from him, and he manages to get the pass away. And little kick ahead, and Coote has to gather that one. Swift was chasing. Coote was looking over his shoulder.
All the experience in the world there. The kick from Griffin and the chase from Swift. And Lachlan Coote, cool as you like, just guides, watches. You see how he puts his body between the ball and the onrushing kick chase from Swift. That's excellent stuff. Top line fullback play.
Here is Sam Wood. Parcell. Sean Kenny-Bell. The dream team last year on the back of a superb season for Hull KR. Sam Luckley now experience his first derby. Here is Coote. Oh, that's a high shot from Kane Evans. And boiling over out there now.
We had a local band on, didn't we, before the game called Fever. I think it's getting even hotter for these guys now. They've caught the fever. It's derby fever here. It's a high tackle. It'll be a penalty, and it'll be interesting here to see what when the referee calms it all down. Kane Evans up on Matt Parcell. I don't think it's anything more than a penalty. I don't think there'll be a sim-in for that.
Kane Evans, the Fijian international, who's 6'5".
Is this mitigation for the tackle? It's difficult for him to get down to Parcell's height.
Captain's lads.
Jack Smith calls across the captains. Carlos Tuimavave.
We've got the on-field penalty.
And Sean Kenny-Bell,
Jesse Sue coming into that instance.
Experienced campaigners.
You manage Jesse Sue coming in. We don't need that. Mate, we've got the on-field call. Kane needs to really calm down. Now, we just spoke to them about that, mate. The on-field call is a penalty against Kane for the high tackle, okay?
The players coming in. It will amount to a Hull KR penalty, and it's an easily kickable one for Coote. In fact, the kicking tee is already on.
Yeah, again, smart stuff from Hull KR. The game in danger there of just boiling over a little bit. So take the 2, make it a 3-score game, take the sting out of everything. Really smart stuff.
Yeah, I'll speak to them when they kick off them too. Jesse, you don't get involved in that incident when you don't need to.
You sense there's been a response from Hull. There's been a bit more fire in the belly.
There was after the first try, but I can't see them playing with enough speed here to trouble the Robins. Doesn't seem quick enough. They can't run through them because Hull KR are strong defensively in the middle of the field. They don't seem to be skillful enough or quick enough to go around them. So you're wondering where they're going to score the point from.
There's 2 more points on the way for Hull KR, you fancy, with Coote lining this one up. 2 from 2 from him so far. That extends Hull KR's lead here at the MKM Stadium.
And there's a reason why you get high tackles like that, and it's a late change of direction and a reach from Kane Evans. And the reason is because they're not, not controlling that ruck. Hull KR have had free reign around that area of the field, and they're getting into the line, through the line, and creating chaos there with those first 2 or 3 defenders either side of the ruck. That's how you end up with those reaching, grabbing penalties being given.
Mikey Lewis under this, so Hull KR in control of this game. 28 minutes gone, and that Hull KR try line I don't think has been threatened yet, has it? There
Jake
was a
Clifford went close,
break.
didn't he? Yeah, and then they lost the ball twice close to the line, so they've not controlled that well. But the ball control from the Robins is impressive, isn't it? A few mistakes, they do what they need to do, and then they give Jordan Abdul the ball and ask him to kick it.
Here's Kane Winnett. And Parcell darting once again. Elliot Minchella. High scorer last time out. 80th of his career in that victory. And that's a good kick.
It's a good kick, but it wasn't the first choice of kick. Mikey Lewis has been forced to touch there because we actually saw some committed kick chase. Scott Taylor leading that line, making sure Jordan Abdul does not have the time he needs to put the scarier kick, the scarier option up. That's a good result for Hull FC, and it's those little wins that you can start to build a platform from, because they're going to have to build back in this game now. They've been played off the park for the first half hour.
I agree, John, but I think you're clutching at a straw. It's a very thin straw. They're going to have to do more than that. They bring out the run hardometer, then they certainly need to turn that up.
Here is Kane Evans. Evans has lost the ball, and a groan from the Hull FC supporters, whose opinion is divided on the big Fijian international. It's fair to say. Parcell, Mikey Lewis. Here is Sam Luckley, once of Wallsend Eagles. Here he is now in the fevered atmosphere. A Hull derby. It's the journey he's been on. Parcell. Hull KR looking to avoid further damage before half-time. Suaso Su skips past Scott Taylor. Eventually is stopped. That's the fifth tackle, bang in front of those posts. And set restart signal. Parcell trying to wrong foot that Hull FC defence.
That's a criminal act by Kane Evans. First the forced offload, then 6 again on the last. He owes his teammates here.
They play the ball 10 metres out. Here is Abdul. Abdul's short pass. On Kenny Dowd. Kenny Dowd, Sean Kenny Dowd bobs the ball over the top to Mikey Lewis, and Lewis trying to dart his way through. He is stopped. Jordan Lane wrestling with him. Jordan Abdul, here is King, and King trying to offload. It's Lee Sow who pounces on it, and that's something for the Hull FC supporters to cheer.
You're
after
right,
another bit of pressure.
Certainly now something for them to back up here. The crowd have now found the voice again, and have Hull found any energy? Daniel McIntosh, but again, 4 men to tackle. Here's Sam Luckley, attempts to offload the line. Impossible play.
Here's Jake Clifford. Half-time approaching. We can hear from Hull FC assistant coach Gareth Ellis, who joins us from the sidelines. Gareth, what is it going to take to turn the tables in this game?
Yeah, we've done a lot of things good early on in the game. I think we need to control Hull KR's offloads, which is causing us a lot of problems, getting some quick play of the balls, Ryan all off the back of that. So we've just got to try and get a bit of a foothold in the game and continue doing a lot of the stuff that we're doing already.
Thanks, Gareth. And maybe make something of this opportunity, although Jake Clifford is struggling to get to his feet.
This would be a blow. His right ankle, perhaps. The referee wants to keep the game moving. He'll stop the game now, so I think Clifford will probably have to leave the field even if he gets up with a green injury. You see his right ankle's just twisted under his body by Batchelor. There's nothing illegal in it, just an accident as they both fall to the floor.
Tony Smith on the sideline. This time last year, he was selecting the Hull Kingston Rovers side to face Hull FC. Now he's got the problems of the black and whites on his shoulders. And Jake Clifford is very animated about something that has gone on. I'm not so sure it was in that tackle.
Well, I think he is.
Down the field.
I think he is. I think he's upset. I think he feels like there's been a hip drop there from the Hull KR defender, and they've caught the ankle in. You just got to have a look at how the Hull KR, the mechanics work in that tackle. That ankle, that trailing ankle, has been caught underneath the falling body of the Hull KR defender. And it's Batchelor, not Mikey Lewis, who falls off, but this now, from behind and dropping the hips, and that's what catches the ankle underneath. I can understand why he's angry with that as well.
You think that's intentional, John?
No, I don't think it's intentional, but you've got to guard against that sort of tackle, because it puts the attacker in a vulnerable position. Yes, you're trying to stop him, but there's also a duty of care to the other players on the field.
Looks like he's going to go off because Clifford's going to leave the field. What does the referee say?
And James Batchelor a bit mystified by that. What was he supposed to do? He's falling as well.
Yeah, you've got to slide. In that situation, you've got to slide. You've got to almost half release and drop down to the lowering the legs.
How are you supposed to make that judgment in a split second?
Well, this is what we're expecting. This is a professional elite level sport, and you are expected to tackle in a way. And you can see Jake Clifford's absolutely fuming at this.
Well, now then, will that galvanise Hull FC? The only problem is that Clifford's their best chance of working an opening. Or is he?
I think Dwyer's the second best, Bill. I agree with you.
Well, here is Scott Taylor, half-time approaching. Brad Dwyer fancies it, and Dwyer will try his hardest. There's not so much of him, but he's battling his way. And Suaso Su comes hurtling in low down. And they didn't like that, Hull FC. And now it is getting feisty. It is getting feisty. Scott Taylor's getting involved against his former team.
Well, Dwyer took offence, didn't he, at the low tackle of play? Was it Parcell who came in? I'll have to take another look on who exactly it was. Dived in low, didn't he, when he was in a stationary position, and Dwyer felt that that was against the spirit of the game. I don't know what you call it, illegal, a foul tackle.
Suaso Su, who came in low.
It is, it's number 8, sorry, not number 9. Eventually, as the tackle's almost completed, he dives in low. Dwyer thinks that's not on. Throws the ball away, and then we get a push and shove, and the referee's got a big decision to make. Will he put Hull KR down to 11 men?
Well, it's late, and the attacker, Brad Dwyer, is in a vulnerable position there.
It's worse than the last one, that Batchelor's just been yellow carded for, in my opinion.
Well, we wanted drama, we wanted passion, we waited a little while, but we've got it now.
Yeah. Jack Smith's got another dilemma to resolve.
He's got to go. If he sent Batchelor for 10 minutes, he's got to send Sue.
Jesse, be really careful how you come in. It's a penalty. It's a penalty only. Off you go. You be careful.
Who's awarded the penalty?
Be careful. Go back. It's a penalty only.
Yeah, do you know what the let-off there is? Because he's above the knee.
Yeah, first point of contact. It looks worse at the end, doesn't it?
If he'd have gone below the knee, he'd have been in all sorts of trouble.
He's hit around the thigh, Bill, so I think that they view that as a safe area to target for the first one.
We don't need a reaction like that.
Initial point of contact is between the hip and the knee in that thigh area, and that's why he's gone off with it. It's still late though.
Get on your line, lads.
Well, that's just spiced things up a little bit more. And Brad Dwyer, he is a tough cookie.
And they're going to go route one now, Hull FC. 2 main ball players not playing.
Here's Ben McNamara. Elliot Minchella and Sam Luckley with the tackle on him. Dwyer once more. Here's Scott Taylor, and Taylor. And look how Rovers celebrate, because forward pass there.
I felt as though it wasn't very ambitious anyway. I'm not so sure what Brad Dwyer was trying to do. Passing it to Scott Taylor, there was only an inquiry amongst the team.
Well, I think they're out of options, aren't they? Ball player playing the ball who just got banjoed the tackle before. Lingy Sow, I think, was expecting the ball, and the ball's just gone to Scott Taylor. But look at the celebrations there from Mikey Lewis.
I love this partisan atmosphere, this tribal atmosphere at the MKM Stadium. That's what makes this in my mind, the derby game. This is a city derby. This isn't a local derby. This is a city
Imagine being one of those split households that have to sit down for dinner at the end of this.
Well, Hull KR make life easy for themselves here. The penalty, the Hull defenders offside. They've slowed it down now to their own tempo.
And that's got Hull KR off the hook, really. They spent a lot of time down at their own end. Mind you, they spend a lot of time basically dealing with the referee at their own end of the field just recently. Half-time approaching, just about 4 minutes left. Oh, Scott Taylor came herring out, looking for Suaso Su there. And Suaso Su gets to his feet with a big grin on his face. Oh, that was lucky. Ball went backwards, says no, it went forward, said the referee.
Well, Gareth Ellis highlighted the offloads that the Robins have been making that have caused them problems. Oh, it comes off his body, but the referee said it's gone forward. Well, Hull got any energy left here now. Extra man on the field.
That's it. They're against 12 as an opportunity for them if they can take it for Hull FC. Just over 3 minutes left in the half. I mean, what a tonic, what a different perspective that would put on a half-time chat if they can post some points here.
Is Vuliki Japani, a very direct runner. The Fijian international, played in the World Cup against Australia. They might have that numerical advantage. The question is, have they got anybody who can create? I mean, Clifford is the best hope, and he's off the field.
Well, Sutcliffe's going to get his hands on the ball a little more often. He's gone closer to play, and here he is. Well, alongside Kane Evans now.
Evans makes some yards for the side there, inside the 10. The pass picked off by Taylor. Mingy Sao flicks the ball out and Jamie Shaw collects it, and then Shaw comes back across. Oh, the field, and a dumping tackle from Sean Kenny Dowell.
He wanted the kick to Griffin, he wanted the kick from Jamie Shaw, and he got the pass instead, and it was a hospital pass.
Sutcliffe, here is Shaw. Shaw puts the brakes on, comes back in field, then puts a little kick in, and it's fly hacked out of harm's way by Mikey Lewis.
Gone for the overhead goal, hasn't he, there? Sutcliffe, they go down the short side again here, and then Shaw stays alive, bounces back in field, kicks through for his teammate Dwyer. Here's the big hit, isn't it? I think it's Tom Opacek who cleans him out, takes him straight off his feet, bang to Griffin, straight to ground.
Anto looking for the short one again, and again it doesn't come off.
Penalty in front of the goal post. I'm not sure exactly how long's left here now. The opposition are going to get the ball, so people might wonder why. Bill, you asked me the question there. You think, well, we're going to be defending near our own line anyway, so on the kick we'll take a 50-50 chance we get it. So just got to improve the kick.
Well, it's a golden opportunity as half-time approaches for Hull FC to find a way back into this game. Ben McNamara trying to work a way through. It's Parcell who made the tackle. Dwyer might fancy it himself, he does, but surely they know what's coming with Brad Dwyer. We've seen him do that so many times in his previous incarnations with Leeds and with Warrington. Scott Taylor will try, and Taylor driving, but it's classic. One up from Hull FC at the moment. Sutcliffe, Shaw, Vuliki Japani, but he's going nowhere in the face of good Robins defence there, and Vuliki Japani, the former British Army man, plays the ball. Griffin out the back to Adam Swift, hardly seen Swift, shape to kick, manages to get it away to Shaw. Shaw back to Griffin. Griffin then will kick cross field. The ball is batted down, Hall knocks it on. Hull FC will get it back.
Well, Hull are desperate here now. They've got bodies on the floor, physios all over the pitch here, trying to patch the players up. Swift keeps it alive, they know, in that situation. This is good skill to Shaw. He's done a dangerous tackle from Su on Swift. He's still down receiving treatment. It was Suaso Su who was involved in that other incident a few minutes ago, and then eventually Ryan Hall knocks the ball forwards. And it should give the black and white team another chance to attack.
with 30 seconds left of this first half. It has been mayhem at times. It was plain sailing for Hull KR early on as they took the lead and built up a 14-0 lead. This second quarter has been absolute chaos, hasn't it? Players sin-binned, injured, Swift hobbling.
The start of the season, the first game here against Casper, from a scrum, this situation here is the tackle now on Swift. I think the referee says it's okay, play on.
Well, that's not okay.
Well,
that's
the referee
not okay
said it is okay. It might get punished afterwards, but we've got a scrum situation. Hull have scored. I know. Can Hull score from this? Forget that for the second. They can debate it at half-time.
They are in the closing seconds of the first 40 minutes. Here's Vulikicipani. They need something. They get the penalty.
Again, though.
Dwyer. Griffin. It's real ad hoc stuff from Hull FC. There's no great fluency from the side, as you'd expect, given the fact that their main man, Jake Clifford, is off the field. And Hull KR will go in at half-time, comfortably in control of this game, on the scoreboard at least. But there's some defiance from Hull FC that suggests that maybe they could make things happen in the second half. But at the break, it's Hull KR who lead by 14 points to 0.
Well, Matt Pete leads Wigan into a derby match for the 5th time, but it is for the local lad a Good Friday first. Saints coach Paul Wellens, well, he graced this occasion 55 times in a glittering Red V playing career. Today is his derby coaching debut. You won't miss a minute of the action with us here on Sky Sports Arena and on Sky Sports Main Event from 2:45 p.m. It is the second part of our Good Friday doubleheader. We're halfway through game 1 and Hull KR have travelled west, I should say, from the east side of the city and have taken into the dressing rooms at half-time a healthy 14-0 lead. James Batchelor, of course, spent 10 minutes in the sin bin following an interaction between himself and Jake Clifford, which saw Jake Clifford taken from the field. Well, I can tell you that Jamie Shaw has been going through a fitness test at half-time with some of the medical staff from Hull FC. And if that wasn't concern enough for Tony Smith and the Black and Whites, well, Jake Clifford, he might also be struggling. He himself has been having a workout as well on the sidelines to see if he can run off that injury sustained in the incident with James Batchelor. Well, a huge hole for Hull FC at the moment, a side who have lost their last 5 consecutive Super League games. They daren't make it 6 at the hands of their arch enemy, who have travelled over in huge numbers. The biggest crowd here in well over a decade. Well, disappointment for the home fans. Glory for the visiting Hull KR fans so far. Will the second half bring a change? You'll find out with our commentary team of Phil Clark, John Wells and Bill Arthur.
Thanks, Brian. Yes, Hull FC were up against it when they left the field at half-time after being dominated for the most part by Hull KR. And then during the second half, as you've just heard, we saw a bizarre succession of fitness, not bizarre, but mystifying succession of fitness tests. Jamie Shaw put through his paces, then Jake Clifford, and you thought, just who is going to be on the field for Hull FC when this second half resumes? Well, Clifford will not. Jamie Shaw is. How fit he is, we do not know. This is not the situation you want to be in.
Well, we know he's struggled with a calf injury in the last couple of weeks, and that had probably delayed his comeback into this Hull FC side. And it isn't going to improve, is it? There's a reason they got him out there, as much to keep him moving and keep him warm as it was an official fitness test. But that's, it's desperate signs here.
It is, as the second half gets underway through the boot of Jordan Abdul, and that's a tantalising kick as well, which Josh Griffin has to wait patiently to arrive in his hands. And at the same time, Sam Wood and co arrive for the Robins. So Hull KR on top thus far, 14 points to 0, as They were last Easter, in fact, when they met at Craven Park. Tony Smith was in charge on that occasion, and they won that one 16-4. Lachlan Coote getting 2 tries for Hull KR in that victory. They lead 14-0 here. He's Kane Evans.
It's a massive opportunity for Ben McNamara here now, really to grow to another level, to go take his game and his experience. He's more or less now in charge of this side. He has to dictate play, get his hands on his ball far more often perhaps than in the first half.
Here he is, and it's his kick, which is into the arms of Lachlan Coote. Coote going across the field and then finding Sam Woods. And Griffin with the tackle.
There's been a couple of positional changes, Bill, there. So Jamie Shaw is really struggling for mobility. He's reverted to the wing. There's an awful lot less dead running on the wing than there is. You can see him in your picture there, and he looks really delicate on that leg. And Darnell McIntosh has moved into the fullback position. No stranger to fullback, of course. Wanted to play fullback earlier in his career. Moved to Hull FC, wanting to play fullback, and now gets his opportunity.
Isuaso Sue, a few boos for the big front rower. After events in the first half, Jordan Abdul with the towering kick on Coote. Had a chance there, grimaces as that ball came down, but he couldn't take it cleanly.
McIntosh and Co didn't seem interested, did they? They allowed Hull KR to get the ball. Coote couldn't take it. You can see whether in the first half, I suppose rugby league's a lot about gaining ground, isn't it? When you've got the ball, you're trying to gain ground. When the opponents have it, you're trying to contain them. And obviously that battle in the first half was won by the shirts in red.
Hull KR in control of this game, I think you'd say. I wonder if that's what they'd say on the sidelines. David Hodgson, Hull KR assistant coach. In control, David, or work to do?
First half, we started really well, I thought, where we turned the ball over. We got a bit scrappy, actually, halfway through. A bit of our own discipline, let them off the hook, and that brings Dwyer into the game.
Thanks, David. We'll leave it there because the knock-on from Brad Dwyer.
Well, he's complaining here, isn't he, that as he stands up to the play of the ball, there's interference, there's a player stood in the place. But the referee says, no, you've dropped the ball. It's a knock-on. We'll have a scrum with Hull KR, head and feed.
And that was just clumsy, frustrating for Hull FC.
Unforced errors, I think you call them, don't they, in tennis? I think they've made several in the first half. They have to eradicate those to have a chance, and they have to be next to score, but you can't score when you've not got the ball, so they need to show greater appetite here now with the tackling.
No doubting the appetite of this Hull KR side. They suffered 3 straight defeats a short time ago, but they're back on track, and that's not back on track. The ball's been spilled by them, and here's Vulica Japani, the crowd urging him to go on it, go on a run.
Well, he's knocked on as well in the tackle. I'll tell you, if you're Willie Peters, you would be desperate to get the message on to the Robins, because they're moving away from that, not conservative, but methodical approach, high completion rates, and this is starting to creep into the game now.
He's just joining the game, I suppose it was, as John points out there in the first half, dominated by the control that Hull KR had. Made very few errors, got to the other end of the field, and then Jordan Abdul's kicks dominated and helped to influence the scoreboard to that 14-point advantage. A switch of play, Shaw gone now back to fullback, McIntosh on the wing, maybe he's found his legs again.
Sean Kenny-Dowell not allowing Carlos Trinavave any room for manoeuvre there. McIntosh, here is Shaw, here is Lungi Sao. The black and white supporters trying to lift their side, but it's a pretty somber atmosphere here so far. They know they're witnessing a side low on confidence, struggling, looking for some inspiration. Here's Vulica Japani.
Oh! He did well to take that, McNamara.
Took the tackle, took the ball. Here is Scott Taylor, whose professional career began in the colours of Hull KR. They're attacking the end where the supporters are gathered as Shaw gives the pass to Jordan Lane. Turnover. Fizzing afterwards.
Batchelor comes in from the side here, takes him off the feet. Wow, he does well to retain possession. Bounce back up for the next play. But him and Shaw there both wanted to get their hands on the ball.
What a great shot from Elliot Minchella. A little bit earlier in the piece. And the referee getting involved in this. This is a...
Get into Jesse.
Yeah, everybody just getting a little bit heated.
Well, Hull do need that, don't they, John? They didn't show enough. The temperature wasn't hot enough in the first half. Oh, great run.
I think it's going to get even hotter as this progresses. Hull FC desperate to unsettle the grip that Hull KR have got on this game. It's not a vice-like grip by any means.
No, I mean, despite everything and the enforced changes at Hull FC, and as bad as they've been in periods, they've only conceded 2 tries. It's a 3-score game because of that penalty. But 2 tries is all that Hull KR have got to show for it. I mean, Willie Peters won't mind that. They're in control of the game. But there's opportunities there if Hull FC want them.
Big hit from Kane Evans on this set. Oh, Tumavave just couldn't deal with the kick. He was facing his own try line initially, and it looked as though he was going to be able to reclaim it, but no.
And a long time ago, I've sat underneath these, and apart from how they physically move, the Jordan Abdul story now is, you can see it starting to get into Hull FC heads. I mean, there's 3 or 4 different players now. McIntosh, Shaw, Carlos Tumivave is the latest, and it's almost in the heads that this is going to be really difficult. This is going to be a real challenge for me.
Well, it looks disorientating to be underneath one of those kicks because it's up there so long and doing so much in the air that you sense players are wondering where the hell is that ball going to come down. Here is Jordan Abdul himself. Strong player. Here is Suaso Su. It's the boos of the Hull FC supporters. But Hull KR with a big opportunity here, and Batchelor will make the most of it. A try that could take this game further away from Hull FC does take this game further away from Hull FC. First points of the second half. And they come to James Batchelor in his first derby, his second try of the season. And you can trace it back, as you can with so many things Hull KR do, to a Jordan Abdul kick.
Yeah, they get the opportunity in the right area of the field. This is the kick. You see the late adjustment in feet. That's because the ball's moving late in the air because of the spin that's put on it. And from the resulting play, it's just a nice, simple, short line option. But have a look at the players behind. It really throws the defence. Yeah, it's Billy Kajipani who's assessing what's going on outside with the movement of Lachlan Coote. And it's a lovely little short cushion pass from Jordan Abdul and James Batchelor through a yawning hole. And you get the feeling that's a significant score. We were talking about only 2 tries being scored by the Robins in the first half. That one is significant.
He doesn't just kick the ball, Jordan Abdul. He does lay on a delicate pass or 2. There is subtlety in his game as well. And as John has just said, 14-0. The game was still within sight for Hull FC. But if Coots converts this and 20-0, it's starting to disappear into the distance for the Black and Whites. He hasn't missed so far this afternoon, the former St Helens fullback.
Well, the Robins are showing their ability to get into the right field position, then convert it into points. Batchelor slides over there from close range, and the Hull KR fans think, well, what a lift that is. The first to score in the second half. Jordan Abdul, if you tune in tomorrow, you'll get to see George Williams play for Warrington. Strong contender to potentially win Man of Steel. If George Williams doesn't, I'd suggest at this stage of the season, Jordan Abdul might be one to contend with him, possibly push him all the way for that prize as the individually best player in the Super League competition.
Suaso Su. It has been a tough afternoon for Hull FC, virtually from the word go.
Have we been here before, Bill Lloyd? My memory's good enough for about 10 or 15 years ago.
Your memory's good, yeah.
remind me what happened.
I think 2016 it was, they came back. Here is Coote. They might not be any coming back if there's more points from Ryan Hall. A second try from Ryan Hall. Back in field to Coote. What a wonderful try from Hull KR. Coote's finishing off, courtesy of Ryan Hall's generosity. Back-to-back tries. We were talking about coming back a moment ago, Phil. I don't think there's any coming back now.
No. I think that's the end, isn't it, for the black and white fans here this afternoon. But it's delight here now. I've never seen a team celebrate a try as well or as much as enthusiastically as Hull KR did then. Both them and the supporters. This was like they just won the grand final. Short side play, too many attackers, not enough defenders, and then great speed and skill to finish this off. Hall surges for the line. Swift covers him with the tackle, but a wonderful one-arm pass back on the inside to the fullback, who makes his conversion attempt easier and is delighted, as is Mikey Lewis with the mascot.
Lachlan Coote's first try of the season, and adding to the pain for Hull FC supporters, some of whom have seen enough already, and there's still a while to go in this game. And they are leaving. Ryan Hall, evergreen wingman, and he could have pinned his ears back and maybe just squeezed in the corner, but decided Coote was open.
No, I think Adam Swift had covered 50 or 60 metres cross field to make sure. Ryan Hall's done the maths on the fly, and he's decided that the better probability of a try is just inside to this man, who gets to convert his own score.
Can he maintain his 100% records with a boot this afternoon to convert his own try, Lachlan Coote? He got 2 tries and 2 goals. He's successful with 2 tries and 2 goals in last Easter's victory over Hull FC. He's got a try and another goal to extend Hull KR's lead to 26-0.
It's a beautiful passage of play we're watching. Just lovely short side stuff. Mikey Lewis catch and pass, and then Sean Kenny-Dowell with some lovely quick hands. And Tony Smith, well, a penny for your thoughts. He's been there, he's done that, he's got the T-shirt, but this team's in a hole at the moment.
Opacic claims the restart and does well.
And once again, just the ease with which Hull KR fill at generating yards, spin out of tackles, finding the front. This is alarming, this.
Well, the Robins look full of confidence now. I'm not surprised. Willie Peters' team, they beat Leeds last week. They look like they're going to beat Hull today. Next they face the Saints. I mean, what a start it's been. He's arrived over here from Australia, little known of his coaching reputation. We've seen him play. His team are doing very well to start 2023.
Well, 5th in the table going into this Easter weekend, and there could be more points coming for them here. It's Sean Kenny-Dowell in the corner. He is brought down. Ryan Hall having a little sneaky look at the line, manages to smuggle the ball out, and it's picked up by Darnell McIntosh. Hull on the ropes and taking a bit of a battering here. Here's Vulikin Japani.
I mean, there is time in this game for Hull FC to show their supporters that there's a team worth following in 2023. Equally, there's time for the Robins to really make a statement here. You know, the next 20-25 minutes will determine which of those pictures you're going to see. But I've got to say, I've really enjoyed watching Hull KR, not just today, but the 3 or 4 times that I've seen them this season. They play a beautifully balanced game where they complete highly, they have a relatively low error rate, but they're still able to pepper their game with a bit of flair and a bit of inventiveness. It's really good to watch.
OKR in control. Here is Sam Woods, looking like a good Easter for Willie Peters, who turned 44 last month. And the omens were good for his first grade coaching career over here, because his side defeated Wigan in his first Super League game. Wigan, the club he represented in the 2000 Super League Grand Final against St Helens. Once a member of the Gateshead side, Willie Peters.
And a rare error from Tom Moppich there in the act of playing the ball. Again, easy yards made, has looked for a bit of an offload, and Lingy Sow over the top. Yeah, there was an error before the ball was played in that tackle, and Hull FC get a momentary let-off.
Here's Scott Taylor. 40-metre line. Then McNamara. McNamara's pass goes backwards and is pounced on by Mikey Lewis. Lewis kicks ahead, looking for a hopeful bounce. He doesn't get it. Sean Kenny Dowell doesn't, and eventually it's in the hands of Vuligi Chobani.
It just wouldn't sit up, would it? You're just waiting for the bounce where it pops up into his hands, and you could almost picture the celebrations, wouldn't you, running towards that Robins end.
Do the darndest thing, these rugby balls. That's been spilled by Lingy Sow.
Well, as I said, full of confidence and with some speed. It's a shame, isn't it, for Mikey Lewis? The ball didn't bounce up for him. I don't think anybody on this pitch would have celebrated more than he if he'd gone over the line there. You see the passion, disappointment there. And what he does that terrifies defenders. He runs at big plays. He doesn't mind what size they are in front of him. He runs at them, he backs himself with his speed and evasion, agility. And at the moment, he's a perfect complement to Jordan Abdul.
He got a hat-trick against Hull FC at Magic last year, did Mikey Lewis. Has been a thorn in their side. Here comes the Robins again. Here comes Ryan Hall again, and Hall uses his strength. Or does he? Jack Smith just taking a moment before he awards this try. Has Ryan Hall got his second of the game? Jack Smith reckons so, but it's now down to video ref Tom Grant to make the final decision.
Okay, 0 tackle, and Phil call a try. So we'll check the try first, please. So we're going to the grounding first, please. If we can hold that, the other bit for now. He's in possession. Thank you. I've seen all I need. I have a decision.
There's no points for it, but it was a brave effort from Brad Dwyer. He's not saved a try, in my opinion. We'll see this confirmed, Bill.
I reckon so. Tom Grant having a quick look at that. There was just maybe an obstruction, a hint of an obstruction in the build-up to that. I thought that's maybe was going to look that. Not so. Ryan Hall gets his second of the game. OKR disappearing into the distance, as are quite a number of Hull FC supporters now as they look at that scoreboard, which shows the visitors leading by 30 points to 0.
It's been a long time since Hull KR have been a top side over here in this country, but this Easter they're starting to look like one again in 2023. Brilliant play from a good side that's riding form at the moment. Good backline pass with Lewis's speed and Hall's finishing ability. Can't deny them another try in the corner.
It's really well executed. Extra man created from the scrum by Abdul getting round. Lovely timing of the pass. Great depth, great shape, good finish. And is that game over? You would say, albeit with over a quarter of the match remaining. I just don't see where Hull FC go from here. Hull KR in rude health, rude form, look like they're enjoying themselves and they're executing on the field as well.
Coots, his most difficult conversion attempt of the afternoon. He hasn't missed yet. This one will test a goal kicker of his calibre from the sideline. Ryan Hall, 2 tries to his name this afternoon, taking him to 230. And Coots does miss for the first time. Hall on 230, the second highest try scorer in Super League history, behind Danny Maguire, who's in the opposition camp today with Hull KR. Beg your pardon, who's with Hull KR. Maguire with 247. Ryan Hall on 230. And a 1-year extension. There's still chances of him overhauling that 247 tally.
Well, he's playing well, isn't he? When you get to that stage in your career, you've got to have a little bit of luck there with injuries, and we know what a professional he is, and we know the work he does away from the field to keep himself in tip-top shape. When you're still bending and smashing defensive lines around like he does, and have the finishing ability that we've just seen there, there's no question, is there?
And here they come again, Sean Kenny-Dowell, and here he comes again. Ryan Hall back on the inside to Mikey Lewis, and Lewis will celebrate this time. Lewis salutes the crowd salutes Mikey Lewis. Hull KR are running away with this one. Mikey Lewis with the try. Ryan Hall again the provider. Lewis was on his inside, and there is a big red and white party going on at that end of the ground.
Well, this is a cracking try. Lovely wide ball from dummy half. The connection between Abdul and Lewis, and then great hands again from Sean Kenny-Dowell. Paul down the wing, and Mikey Lewis, the mercurial Mikey Lewis. That's the key pass there from dummy half. 20 metres, cuts out 3 defenders. Beautiful hands from Sean Kenny-Dowell. Boy, did they miss him when he wasn't playing. And then Mikey Lewis, the try that he was after, the try that he nearly scored 5 minutes ago. Well, this is just beautiful. It's really well executed, as it was on the scrum try that we saw a couple of moments ago. But that's the try that's got the Hull KR faithful roaring and the Hull FC fans walking, unfortunately. It's a whitewash. It's a whitewash.
34 points to 0, the scoreline. And still a quarter of the game to go. So Coots back on target with this one. He is. Jubilation from the Hull KR supporters. 36-0, they are ahead.
When you get to the end of the season and you look at the team who've won the grand final, sometimes you go through all the tries they've scored throughout that year, and you very often see one that looks something like this. And it's very early to say that Hull KR are going to get to the grand final, but as this game's grown, they've shown they were strong enough, they've been good enough to defend, and they've now got the quality and the skill, the speed needed to score long-range tries. The delight of that little boy.
Can Hull FC at least salvage some pride and avoid a nilling here? I mean, that's got to be their goal now, isn't it?
You just don't see where the points are coming from. I mean, for a start, they can't keep hold of possession, Hull FC, and then when they do, it looks completely, well, understandably, it looks really disjointed in attack, and that's, they've lost the starting fullback coming into this game in Texoy. Jake Clifford has left late on in the first half. Jamie Shaw now looks to have left the field, so an awful lot of rejigging.
Well, predictions going into this game were that it would be a tight contest. Hull KR were widely tipped to prevail, but being a derby game, there'd be points in it, and it to be a narrow win for KR, but it's going to be an absolute runaway win for KR. I wonder how close it is going to be at the DW Stadium, because that's coming up next. Wigan against St Helens. The champions are in town, and Wigan will be looking to make a point against Paul Wellens' side. Here is Brad Fash. This will be hurting for the black and whites.
Well, other than Jake Clifford going very close and maybe early in the first half, I can't think of one other occasion when Hull looked like scoring. Hey, here we go. Maybe it's now.
Kichapani trying to get away on the outside, but Coots and Mikey Lewis making the tackle. Ben McNamara, Dwyer, Liam Sutcliffe.
Late tackle, it will be a penalty for Hull. We're going to get to see, going to try everything they can. They've got to get over the line. Can't be nilled.
Here's Chris Satai. They've hardly touched the ball in the second half of Hull FC, it seems. Here is Dwyer. Sutcliffe. Swift, the ball bouncing into his hands eventually.
Down to 12 men, the right winger's down on the floor at the moment.
Yeah, Villa Kichipani is out of action. Sutcliffe. Cater, and now Chris Satai ducks under the first challenge and then goes looking for another one. It's Opacic who stops his progress. Jez Litton is on there. Fash. Ben McNamara. It's back with McNamara. Nowhere for him to go. Litton and King doing the tackle. They're about 10 metres away from the Robins try line. Is Dwyer. Dwyer. The ball on the deck. It's picked up by Lingy Sao, who manages to get it away to Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe, and on it comes to Swift. Swift, little dink, and it's all going right for the Robins, although Jordan Abdul, I think, just had a foot in touch.
Yeah, they're going to get another chance. There's an element of excitement. Look at the Hull players here. You can tell some of them still here got the energy. They want to try and form this scrum. Some enthusiasm still on the side as Abdul's foot touches the sideline here. Swift attempts a little chip and chase, and the touch judge sees the leg go over the line.
Cater. They're running out of numbers of Hull FC with the injuries they've had. Here's Dwyer. McNamara's short pass. Chris Satai, though, straight into the grip of Batchelor. Dwyer, Brad Fash spinning, trying to force his way to the line. Again, Robins' defence is strong on their own try line. Dwyer, McNamara.
Good shot. Great work, Mikey Lewis. That's how to really pressure. McNamara had to reach for the ball, but that's a brilliant tackle.
It's Kane Evans. That's the fifth tackle. It's Dwyer. Puts the kick in. The ball comes back to him. It's picked up by Darnell McIntosh. It's still on the last. Little kick over the top. And it's Coote who claims it.
Does Lachlan Coote's heart rate ever get above 70 beats a minute? He just looks so calm and so composed. And just the reassurance that gives you as well. The players in front of him who are in that washing machine and are tumbling around the field and scrambling in defence, and to look up and to see someone that composed, that calm at the back, that's a real reassurance for Hull KR.
Here is James Batchelor, try scorer in this contest. George King. Fair to say the red and white side of the city will have an enjoyable Easter weekend.
And they'll start not just having an enjoyable weekend, I think they'll start to get excited about what they could do in 2023. Obviously had some disappointments with one or two losses, but they play the World Club champions next on the back of beating Leeds, on the back of winning here by 30+ points. We don't know what it's going to end up exactly here.
Well, last year, last meeting, it was 36-4 to Hull KR. Are we going to get a repeat this afternoon? Can Hull FC at least get points on the board? Because it will be a tough weekend for black and white supporters if they've got to endure the taunts of their rivals about being nilled in the derby, because they're heading for that at the moment. Here's Swift. Here's Liam Sutcliffe, and Sutcliffe back on the inside to Griffin, and Griffin wearily to Swift, and the crowd looking for some sort of forward movement. It comes from Brad Fash. Dean Hadley with the tackle on him. And McNamara kicking high and kicking straight into the arms of Ryan Hall. I don't know if it would have made a massive difference, but Clifford's absence has been another factor. He did at least appear to have some idea of how to unlock this Robins defence.
Yeah, but when you've got no link man, essentially you've got Ben McNamara, who's the only ball player on the field, only recognised ball player on the field. I know you've got Liam Sutcliffe in that position, but it really limits your options, and it also puts the target on your back as the only ball player. Hull KR know where Hull KR know where that Hull FC ball is going.
Here's Hadley, here's Abdul. Mikey Lewis over the top to Ryan Hall, who just brushes outside the first challenge. Lewis. Dean Hadley now. Once of Hull FC. Made 87 appearances for the club, and McIntosh had to wait for that ball. And Litton was arriving at the same time.
That's great. Interesting, still tackling here. Look, they're trying to force them back into the in-goal area with a 36 lead. Building some good habits, and they're dragging him over the sideline here.
And the ball's been released inside, and the Hull KR are in possession. Another set of 6 for Hull KR, and Hull FC once again forced into defence. You expend twice as much energy in defence as you do in attack. And you can see the frustration now. Kane Evans with another late shot.
Think about it.
Yeah, these are frustrating times for Hull FC fans. But this is a team that's out on its feet at the moment, out of its feet and out of ideas.
Kane, leave that out, come on.
I think, just looking at Ian Proctor's comprehensive history of this derby fixture, there has only been one previous Super League nilling in meetings between these two sides. As play is with Dean Hadley. That was back in 2014 in Hull's favour. Here's Litton trying his hand. He is held up. 28-0 that was. In 2014, Hull FC won that one. It's 36-0 at the moment. It could be more, it could be more for the Robins. As Lewis, that ball went forward. Mikey Lewis will do his best to celebrate it.
They can be forgiven for pushing the odd pass, can't they? You know, 36-0 is obviously a winning position, and it's just a case of, you know, they're trying it. It's not necessarily on, but these are almost practice runs just to try and sharpen up their attacking toolkit for later on in the season. Well, later on in the season, next week, when they welcome the champions. So that will be a completely different kettle of fish.
8 minutes left in this contest. Contest, is that the right word, in the second half?
Well, it's looking worse here now. They've lost the ball again, haven't they? I understand when you're Hull, you're trying to keep the ball alive, you want to score. You're not just about completing a set and looking to kick at the end of it. You can sometimes go downward in a spiral, and I think they have done that as the second half's gone on, perhaps understandably. You asked before about the loss of Jake Clifford. Of course, he's the best, he's the most important attacking player. But even when he was on the game at the start of the match, they were the second best side then.
Well, if you're doing the amount of defence they're doing because they can't control possession, you're absolutely burning through the energy reserves, and that, you know, that's how you end up with, you know, 6 or 7 minutes to go, and you've been defending your line for most of the second half.
Litton flings the ball out. Kalinat, and the boot is very much on the other foot this time for Tony Smith. This time last year he was Hull KR coach and celebrating the victory. Now he is having to witness his side being put to the sword by Hull KR. As Batchelor plays the ball, Here is Jordan Abdul. Abdul, Lewis. Lewis's pass, and Ryan Hall is in once again for his hat-trick try. And no doubt about that one. Hall finishing off and taking Hull KR to 40 points in this game. Ryan Hall with a hat-trick try.
Take a look at the ball from Mikey Lewis. What a cutout pass. That was absolutely outstanding play from the halfback. Take another look. What a ball. Snap ball. Cuts out Toomey Barney. Cuts out Sean Kenny-Dowell. Hits Ryan Hall for the hat-trick.
231 tries in Super League now for Ryan Hall. Consummate finisher. And that's finished off the Hull FC supporters as well.
I'm not surprised they've endured a very painful watch. But for those fans, the Robins are delighted, and what a sort of confidence they've carried here now. It has been a great day for them here, the home of their arch rivals. We've had a wonderful atmosphere. It's gone quieter, I suppose, as the match has gone on, because there are more black and white fans than there are for the Robins. It's about as comprehensive as you can get in a game of rugby league. 40 points to 0. Just end up at 42.
Coots. Difficult from the sideline, across the face of the posts. 40-0 it stands. And the Hull FC supporters just wishing the hooter would sound very swiftly and put their side out of their misery.
My favourite type of tries, aren't they, those passing plays where the winger scores in the corner. He's done plenty of it throughout his career, and he's hoping to do a bit more this season. With that sort of service, the quality, the field position and territory that they've had in this game and others, gives them a chance to add to that total for a few more matches.
Back in 2007, Hull KR came here and beat Hull 42 points to 6. There's still time for them to improve on that. Shellacking, comprehensive win, drubbing, thrashing, call it what you want, but this is pretty humiliating on their own patch for Hull FC.
Here. Tony Smith's got all the experience they need as a coach, but the season got off to a good start the first 2 rounds. Then it went wrong in the second half against Catalan in France. They conceded 3 weak tries in the middle of the field, soft efforts to its own try line, and the defence has just deteriorated from that point. Embarrassed at home here by Salford. Mark Sneed walked through 4 tacklers at one point as Sam Wood now charges down the right side.
Swift defending his flank and not allowing Woods room to roam. Here's Jordan Abdul Suaso Su. He will have enjoyed his first taste of the Hull derby. Hull FC have got to dust themselves down and face a trip to Leeds next time out. Massive rebuilding of confidence job coming up here. Sean Kenny-Dowell trying to smuggle that ball out, couldn't do that, went forward.
There's a glimmer of hope if you're a black and white fan, that you have a hope that at some point got Jake Truman coming back into the side, who I think is a wonderful player. If he can get on the field, I think he's fantastic and will do wonders for their attack. But he can't tackle for 12 other players, and the one-on-one defensive efforts need to improve.
11th in the table, Hull FC.
Is this similar to Leeds at this point last year?
Well, yes, and look what happened to them, got to the grand final. 11th courtesy of Castleford Tigers' victory over Wakefield last night. We're going to get in against Saints coming up very shortly. I've got a feeling that might be a bit of a tighter contest than this one has been. Here's Kane Evans, stopped in his tracks by James Batchelor, who has had an outstanding game. McNamara, Brad Fash, Jordan Lane. McNamara once more, McIntosh again, side to side. Liam Sutcliffe plays the ball, Lingy Sow. And then McIntosh just kicks high and aimlessly, really. They're enjoying this so much, the Hull K supporters. They're enjoying their side's success. Probably more so, they're enjoying the opposition's
pain,
discomfort and pain.
Oh, you're right. This guy's loving every second of it now. His confidence grows as each game goes past. I think when you think to Hull KR, for the last week we saw them play against Leeds, here we've seen them. I think one of the things they simply do is prevent their opponents from gaining ground, making meters, and the tackling, their interest, the discipline of the line moving forward. I think that's been a fundamental. We talk about Jordan Abdull's kicks, but if you can't control your opponents and you don't defend well enough, well, that's not enough, is it? And I think Hull KR have developed a brilliant habit of defending better.
Willie Peters will enjoy this, his first Hull derby. And what a way to be marking that occasion. And Abdull goes for 1 point to get his name on the score sheet, but fails with that. It remains 40 points to 0. Yeah, they've got Leeds away next, Hull. Then they've got Huddersfield at home, and then Wigan. It's a tough run. And you wonder if Leeds could do it last year, then it's there to be done, but you've got to generate some momentum. Talk of momentum, it's denied Ryan Hall. Just as he was thinking of taking off, the referee brings him back for the knock-on.
Touches on from the sideline. They've got other problems here now for Tony Smith. As he looks on, Ben McNamara has just been down, being treated by a physio, so shortage of players who in the back line could be an issue. Willie Peters, arms folded just next to him there. He kind of dreamt of having an involvement in a better opening derby game than he's had here.
Well, the Hull FC supporters are making their way home. The Hull KR fans are going to stay and celebrate, that's for sure. Celebrate a thumping victory and confirmation of the fact that they are a real threat in this competition. And they have put their neighbours to the sword here. Mikey Lewis, effervescent at the heart of this Hull Kingston Rovers effort, celebrates. The Robin supporters celebrate. The Hull FC supporters downcast and dejected. Bad enough being beaten on the Good Friday derby by the side from the other side of the city, but to be nilled by them on your own pitch is tough for the black and whites to take. But Hull KR don't mind about that. They are celebrating. Their supporters jubilant. Ryan Hall with the hat-trick among Hull KR's try scorers in a comprehensive victory, making Hull FC look like Easter bunnies for sure. 40 points to 0. Hull KR have triumphed.